Hi everyone, it's Christian Nicole and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here for the fourth installment of our series, Just Learning Attachment Styles. So far we've discussed anxious preoccupied attachment. We've talked about fear of enmeshment and securely attachment style. And today we're going to talk about dismissive avoidant attachment style, which is a lot of people, you would be surprised to know, but I wrote a little something for everyone so that there will be no shame or fear or like huge discomfort along with maybe you learning about your attachment style, but rather you would be encouraged to go ahead forward with your self-work and heal, your inner child or where there might be areas of trauma and just overcome those things so that you can have, a better working relationships in your personal life, whether it's romantic or just platonic friendship, cousins, aunties, mothers, fathers, whatever. I think that we all want to be successful in that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and read something to you that I wrote, and then I'm going to read you the results of a test I took to find out my attachment style. Now, listen, I already kind of knew it because of what I had been reading, like the clinical research and everything, but just a little bit of confirmation really helped me decide to make the choice to buckle down and work on myself so that I too can have better, better relationships all around. Okay, so this one is about dismissive avoidance. Before we enter into certain life arenas, whether it be work, travel, or something where skills and understanding are required, we undergo a time of training and education. Once we are well educated in an area, we are more likely to succeed. That's what we want in life, success in the areas that we pour our energy and time into. We have been taught to tie our shoes, to drive, and to do our jobs very well, but a few things are missing. We were not taught how to know and be in tune with ourselves, or to choose a partner wisely. When we don't know ourselves or are not very self-aware, we cruise through life making the same choices detached from the knowledge of or memory of the consequences. The problem here is that though we should fully expect what's coming, it's a total surprise. Many of us are on autopilot or are sleeping because we have not been educated on how to work on ourselves or work through things, okay? People also, because of their unawareness, are fearful, codependent, distant, self-centered, hot-tempered, proud, or oblivious to anything that doesn't appeal to their five senses. They are this way. While some want to change, some are pleased with themselves, never looking within, recognizing patterns or cycles that produce failure in self and relationships. In fact, many of us think we're just fine, just as we are. We matter to us, our needs and our happiness, but what about the core of who we are? So we're cool with the external, right? All of the projections and stuff, but whatever goes on internally, we easily sweep those things under the rug, or they're so far repressed that we don't even know what's going on. We're just living and reacting instead of really living. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see. The inner self, that part of us that feels ashamed for asking for help or simply refuses help in order not to appear weak. The part of us that pleases people and can't say no for reasons of insecurity. The part of us that presents a false self to the world so that we don't get hurt. We do a lot of work pretending and putting up a front, but what if we could, instead of fake it, actually make it? What if we could learn ourselves and then begin through education and apprehension of those things that rule us from the backseat of our past, fine-tune our flaws and inadequacies? A lot of the way we are or have become is based on our earliest experiences with our parents or caregivers. The attachment theory explains so much about our attachment styles, but helps you to discover some root issues and work toward resolving and healing them. I recently found out my attachment style, and I could identify easily with 95% of its specific description, and it was an eye-opening moment and a grievous moment. So I was like, oh wow, okay. And then I was like, oh wow, okay. Hold up, okay. I don't know if I like this. Okay. Let's see. At least I've got insight, but also, how could I be so terrible and not know it? I have since then eased up on myself. We are all a work in progress. So it's like, this is information that's not for you to take personally. It's kind of like, let's just keep it objective and let's work towards the goal of getting better. That's all we're going to do. Seize the opportunity to evolve, heal, and mature. Okay. Well, curiosity is one way to bring awareness through investigation. Circling back, can you believe that something so helpful to the human mind, heart, and soul has never been taught to us? Public schools, and I mean middle and high schools, should teach on self-awareness, going far beyond the public and government agendas and yoga, getting into self-work. We are taught to perform tasks that match our teachers' or authorities' standards and expectations, and that's a one-size-fits-all deal. We're taught to keep up with class and excel in all external duties given to us. Meanwhile, internally, we're all mixed up, cluttered, foggy, or just plain neglected. I believe the knowledge of self, high points, low points, and the need for deep adjusting will help us in those arenas of life mentioned earlier, and especially in the area of establishing and maintaining deep, fulfilling relationships, beginning with ourselves, like self-love, okay? Being wise to who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, will help you pick people who are good for your growth and development if you really pay attention. You will also, based on your attachment style, be able to pinpoint it in others and develop a friendship and grow together. So it's nothing to hide from or shy away from. Based on who you are and how you move or how you act, you can say, oh, I find myself when I'm watching certain things on TV, whether it's like a reality show or something, mainly reality shows, but I'm like, oh, this person is dismissive avoiding because of how they're, I can relate, I can identify with that. So it makes things a little bit easier. And all I say is always just be patient with yourself, because we're all still learning. It just takes a little education. I want to talk personally about my attachment style and introduce you to a workbook and post a link to a test below so that you can learn your attachment style, how it looks, explore how it became so, and then go on your own journey to self-work. You'll be so happy that you did. So now we're going to talk about the dismissive avoidant characteristics, okay? All right. I had to find the quiz that I took and find the answers. Okay. So my profile says dismissive avoidant. So you can look up those words and kind of surmise, get the gist of the idea behind it. But there's an idea behind it, and then they're like real life people with actual characteristics. So I'm going to read this to you. Characteristics of dismissive avoidant attachment style are: you prefer to maintain an emotional distance from others. If someone does attempt to forge an intimate bond with you, you may pull away from the relationship. Bingo. Displays of emotion, opening up to others and expressing your feelings, make you uncomfortable. When other people try to open up to you, you may minimize their emotional expressions. You may come across as aloof or distant to others. You dislike being dependent on others and see yourself as self-sufficient and independent. You may present a false persona to the world. Emotional intimacy, trust, and dependency on others are difficult concepts for you. You prefer to create personal boundaries and rely on yourself. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so what can you do? By this stage, you likely have a deeper understanding of the avoidant dismissive attachment style, as well as whether these traits are fitting for your behavior. If you're wondering about the next possible steps for you, then it may be helpful to attempt to recognize your triggers and patterns of behavior within relationships by examining your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You may be able to figure out what your needs are, as well as how someone else can meet them in a relationship, right? What's more, an important element of changing your behavior pattern is recognizing that relationships don't revolve just around you. You need to consider the other person's role in the partnership. Your attachment style does not make you inherently self-centered, but you may close down to other people because you subconsciously expect them to reject your needs at some stage. Instead of relying on pre-existing negative core beliefs, perhaps examine what it might be like if you were to explore the opposite of what you believe? How might you feel if you were to allow yourself to depend on someone else? What would the positive outcomes be? What would your life look like if you were to allow others to grow emotionally close to you? The goal of this task is to critically examine whether your current situation is fulfilling your emotional needs, or whether you would feel more fulfilled if you were to allow yourself to become intimate and emotionally dependent on another person. So then at the bottom it says, we can help. We know that having a dismissive avoidant attachment style can be difficult. It can be confusing and overwhelming not to be able to open up to others, which is an essential aspect of meaningful and long-lasting relationships. I'm not going to cry. You're crying. Who's cutting onions? But there's no need to feel trapped or hopeless. We've got your back. Below, we've outlined a series of steps you can take on your journey towards cultivating attachment security. So it says get your attachment style workbook, join an attachment repair work group, and complete our online course. So I got the workbook and I have worksheets because I know me, right? I read my attachment style out loud. So I am somebody who's better suited to do things alone. It's just how I am. But I think eventually I may do the work group because that seems kind of ideal and optimal. So this is a challenge, but I don't feel bad. I have some mixed feelings about it, but I know that it's something that I personally need to do to like move forward and to evolve and to not get stuck in the same rut that I got myself stuck in my 20s and even younger, like when I was first dating. And as you know, by this time, your attachment style isn't just kind of handed down from your caregivers. It is a security mechanism that kind of, I guess, appears or that is created based on people's responses to you. So if you have a life filled with lots of reception and well wishes and lots of warmth, then you're going to probably have a secure attachment. If you've had a life of possibly neglect or bullying or rejection or abandonment, or these things have happened significantly enough while you were growing up, then your attachment style is going to be insecure. So, but again, knowing your attachment style is not the end all be all. There's work to do. So I want to encourage you that while this video may be a different format from the last couple of videos with the attachment styles, it's still something for you to kind of think about and just kind of, prepare yourself to do the self-work. I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the comments or in the description so that you can find the attachment quiz, and you can go to theattachmentproject.com and, find out your attachment styles and then begin to grow, mature, evolve, and heal so that you can have better outcomes with all your relationships, because all we want to do is just do better. I know it. You know it. And so with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something about yourself, or you just like the information, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like the video, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I super duper appreciate it. And go ahead and hit the bell for notifications. I'll be back another day with more information. I'm still learning my content style. So again, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.